Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. What did you say? Well, comments. So let's go through a few of the comments, and I wanted to do at least 10, so I'm going to give you the bums rush through them and try and get through them as quick as I can with as much info as I can. So first one I wrote down was Tag in hospital. That's the young man. He's about 28 years old. He lives alone. Let me explain. He lives alone in a tiny house, but he lives within very close reach, just across the hill, to his family, and his family live in a tiny house, and that his mother is what we have dubbed the crying lady, because she came once very upset about how life was treating her. We took some food around and we helped her out, but really she really needed a new house. So a lot of people have taken issue with the fact that we reported that when we took a box of food around, a lot of different stuff, it seemed to you that you thought it was taken from him, as in stolen. Just somebody come in, helpless young man, can't really move around much, and they come in and they help themselves to a box of food. Well, not quite the way that it was. The fact is that the family is extremely poor, on extremely hard times. The family is living in a house that is not a whole lot bigger than the one that Tag is living in, and yet that has 9 people in it, and 9 or 10 people, I'm not quite sure. So they're in pretty dire straits. Now they come over, someone from the family comes over every day to see Tag, to feed him, to cook for him. They'll cook rice up for him. No, face reality, none of them have very much, and so it's not a case of they're coming round and saying, oh, nice coffee, let's have some. It's just not that way. And the Filipino psyche is geared up. It's whatever you want to call it. It's programmed. There's a sharing app in there, and it can't be removed. It's a HAL, if you like. It just can't be removed. They're going to do it. This is a family that when they have nothing, they'll still come over and try to do something for Tag. And when he has some good fortune, he is not going to be one to refuse to share it. So that's the way that it is. It's the Filipino way, so that's it. Village of Hope. Song and dance. We went over there. We took Shannon. We took Tracy, our Aussie adventurer, and his lady, the love of his life that he has met and is now very happy with. Very touching. It was very touching. Shannon, who is the upright, macho young man, not excessively so, but a strong young guy, and he was visibly touched by the fact that all of these children got together and sang for us. Now, sorry if he and I are not dancers. We don't do that. Sorry. It's just one of those things. So, if we were candles, okay, we were candles. BB. They're saying, why aren't we seeing BB? She must be busy with her sari store. Busy is a little girl. BB is a busy little girl, I meant to say. But she's a school kid. She's a little girl. I don't know where everybody got this idea that she has a sari store. It's not so. Maybe as a little girl she set up her little sari store and had an old tin can for this and a pencil for that, and she created a little sari store which she played in. And I think that I may be wrong, because I don't get to watch every single video. There's just simply not enough time, even of the ones that we make. So I may be wrong, but that's all it can be. She's a little girl, I think maybe 7 or 8. She can't have a sari store. So, the guest house. Spreading ourselves thin. Look, the guest house is something that we offer to people who are interested in having a hands-on experience. Somebody said, I like the way that Terence gets the guests working, doing the work. Damn right, we don't let them stand by and watch things happening. We stick a cup or a measuring cup in their hand and say, hey, share some rice out of that sack. Let's see you work. We include them in the experience. So, as I've said many times, you want the white beach and the pina colada, you've got to go past our turning, because we're not for you. If you want to come and I'm not dressing it up, if you want to come and have an experience which will change you in a very significant way, then you come to us. You can go and lay on a beach, and boy, I'd love to do that too. And you can go in that lovely clear blue water, and you can have another pina colada, and boy, you're a lucky man, lucky woman. And it's not that I envy you, but I've been there and expect that I may well be there again, because we're going to Boracay in a few days' time, next Wednesday in fact. So yeah, we're going to be present at my youngest son's wedding. So we'll be in Boracay. Will we be enjoying, not sure about the pina colada, that's probably one of the only few drinks that I know, except a pint of mild or a pint of bitter, and a whiskey and something or other. I'm not really into drinking. So the point I'm trying to make is that we offer a free place to stay if you want to come and see for yourself how it feels to help. That's the thing that we do. Now, we're on social media. Somebody said, well, you're on social media, therefore you should be able to take criticism as well as the praise. Well, we love the praise. We love being told that we're doing a great job. We work damn hard trying to do a great job. Do we want to put a target on our t-shirt and stand up and say, hey, hit me? No, we're not. We're not going to do that. So if somebody comes up with nasty comments, delete and block. That's all that we need to do on that. Now, well, there is one thing that I feel that should be done, a point that I should be made, in saying that, well, you've got to do this or you've got to do that. In actual fact, when somebody sets up on social media and they set up a channel, now, I've seen lots of people and they set up a channel and all they do is find interesting videos and simply put them up, and they've got tens of thousands of subscribers. So what they're doing is beyond criticism, because they are successful at what they do and people enjoy looking at the videos that they put up. They don't actually create things themselves other than create lists of things that they think people would enjoy seeing, and sometimes their choice of what they think other people might see can be so spot on that it goes viral. And in fact, you should have seen that with a little girl called Sarah. And Sarah was one who could take the husk off a coconut with her teeth. What's so surprising about that? Well, it's not so surprising, except that she's blind, and is one courageous little hero of a kid. That's my view on that. So, in other words, do I have to do anything that anybody else says? And the truth is, no. If I choose to, if Beth chooses not to do something, she's an equal partner, we have our site. It's not my site, it's our site. It's Beth and I, T and B. That's the way it is. And if she really feels strongly about not doing something, then we don't do it. If she feels strongly about doing something, then usually we'll do it. And vice versa, me too. Now, who will be the judge of whether what we do is successful with or without criticism? Well, the subscribers will, because if we make a lash up of it, if we put a load of boring stuff on, if what we're saying is not worthy of any real comment, if all of those things are true, then we won't have any subscribers, because they will stay away in droves, won't they? So, this is my take on it. I don't offer a forum for people to bash me, and I'm not talking about trolls now. There are people who are extremely interested in social discourse on social media, and they come along and they want to engage me in conversations which are extremely intellectual, intelligent, full of depth and meaning, but they don't belong on the site, the channel that I run. What I'm doing is, Beth and I, as I always say, we are just two people doing what we can with what we have. And we like to be encouraged by it because we're helping people. And if anything that anybody says doesn't help, then we're not interested in having that. Is that wrong? If it's wrong, somewhere down the road we'll be subscriberless, and then it won't be worth even being on YouTube. Why would we? Why would YouTube have us? But if we are encouraging most people to help too, if we inspire somebody to help somebody else, then we'll stand by that. So we stand or fall, sink or swim, by our choice of what we do and how we do it. That's on that. Sarah the blind child. I've already dealt really with Sarah the blind child, and the way that we are trying to help on that. Do we have all of the options in? Well, no, we're looking at options. Some people have said, well, maybe you could go to the school and build a little house on the school. No, you can't. You can't do that. You can't go to a school and say, "Do you mind if I build a little house over there for Sarah? I mean, she's blind, you know." It won't happen, because we're talking about a school. In that particular case, the one that you may have seen on video, very, very well run, beautifully run, in fact, and a large place. But they're there to help people with impairments, deaf, dumb. The teacher that we saw, admittedly, she spoke mostly in Visayan, which excluded me and which excluded a lot of subscribers. But you had enough translated to be able to get the gist of what's happening. And our thought was, well, maybe we could just rent a house, and for several days of the week, maybe 5 or 4, Sarah and her mom and some of the younger siblings could come and stay there so that she can get an education, which she really needs. She's 13 years old and has not been in a school as far as we know. So was that a good idea? Somebody said, I think that's a horrible idea. And I got to admit, I agree with you. It would be a horrible idea that we split the family. It was something that we thought might work. So we're still looking. We also said maybe a private tutor is the way. Somebody else stepped up. That would be extremely expensive, prohibitive. And we agree with that too. We're looking at what we can do with what we have. And right now, we don't have very much anyway for Sarah. She is, as a result of the viral video of her doing the husking with her teeth, the family are receiving some help, quite devoid of anything that we're doing, quite separate from us, isolated from us, and they're receiving some money. So they are getting some help. Will that help be focused on getting Sarah what she needs, we don't know, quite possibly no. Any money that we get will be shaped into a plan which will benefit that child. That's what we do. And straight off, we need to get them into a safe house, because the house, make no mistake, the house that they are living in right now, all 10 of them I think, is about to fall down, because it's on stilts, and all of those posts, at some of the corners, they're not even connected. You could knock them down. It wouldn't affect the house. The posts that are holding the house up are very, very shaky, but there's enough of them there to keep the house erect. So building a house is the main thing for us at the moment, to get them into a safe house. Do we want to move them to a school? No, we don't want to do that, because that's the area that they live in. They have family, they have friends, school kids. There are other school children as part of Sarah's family who are going to school. They have their friends, they have relatives. It's a community, and that's part of it. So moving them away is just, somebody said, well, just, you're going to build a house anyway, so just find a place that is closer to a school. It's a great idea if only we could do that, and we don't think we can. So still working on that. Right, Jessica, Beth's sister, the lovely Jessica, is in hospital again, and it seems that she has something that is something to do with diet, exercise. Diet is a very big factor in some of the sickness that you get in the Philippines, because the diet is restrictive. It's very restrictive, to say the least. Like Nanay has high blood pressure, and she has to control that with medication. But probably she could do that with changing her diet. But she's old, and I say this with my tongue in my cheek. She's an old lady, and she's not used to change, and changing her diet is just not something that she feels able to do. So Jessica is, I feel, in the same place. Also, I think that there's a stress there. She is living on her own with the 3 kids, and she has a studio apartment that's next to the school, so away from the family, because of the convenience of sending the kids to school. They literally just walk around outside the compound into the compound of the school, and they're at school. So how can we help her? Well, she's in hospital right now. We went to see her today. Just in one day, she's on an intravenous drip, so she's getting hydrated, which is probably a lot of the problem. And she already looks better. She's smiling. She's looking her old pretty self. So we're hopeful that that's all going to be handled. Dating site. Someone said, will you help me to find somebody? These are people who are obviously worthy people. They may be retired, they may be young, may be old, they may be here, they may be there, who knows. But we're not really, even though we recommend a Christian dating site. Well, we recommend that dating site because if we feel that if the women are Christian, with a Christian background and involvement in a community spirit, which is going to church, you may agree that the videos that we put on, which we show what we do at church, shows that our little church is a centre of community spirit, and that's something that's very important. It enables us to monitor what is happening to some of the kids. If we see skinny kids, we're able to get some help to them. We've started, as you know, we've started a education support where people decide that, well, I'd like to I'd like to support 10 children. And they send enough money, 400 pesos a month is one child, and they multiply that by 10 and they send what they want, and we give that out in its entirety, all of it. We don't keep any of it for so-called administrative costs, which charities do, because we're not a charity. We're two people, as I say, doing what we can with what we have. And we're now trying to get packs of dried milk to some of these kids that look a little bit on the skinny side. Let's see if we can help there. That's what we're doing right now. Are we a dating site? No. Can we fix you up with someone? We know lots of women. We just put up a video of going up to Alturas, the supermarket, and getting a load of stuff that we could take to the Village of Hope and do a little giveaway at a couple of very poor barangays. And somebody said, wow, that cashier is beautiful. And yes, she is. And there's lots and lots of women like that who are holding down a responsible job and may or may not be interested in talking to you or being with you. How will you ever know? My advice all the time is get on a plane and come here. That's what I suggest you do. We go all the time to various places where we need a service. We go to MoneyGram, we go to Zoom, we go to Alturas, we go to restaurants, we go to these places, the gas station, any number of places which are all part of the normal way of life, and we constantly see people that may be of interest to you if you are looking for a partner. And this is the way to go, I think. Find someone who is going to a church. Go to some churches. Find someone who is interested. Now, here's the difference if you come here. I will tell you this. If you come here and you are presentable, you know, if you're Quasimodo, you might have a little bit of a challenge. But if you're a good, decent man, and you come here and you can present yourself in a presentable way, then that's one of your best chances of meeting a partner. And how will you know? Well, you can talk to her direct, and you can go and meet her family. You can do all of those natural things that you would do wherever you live. That would be the normal thing. You'd ask a girl out, you'd date her again. Isn't this what Tracy and Cece did? So let's move on to the next point. Tracy and Cece. Tracy, you might remember Tracy, he was the one that, like the walls of Jericho, they were not coming down. But along came Cece, who, I gotta tell you, is a lovely woman and is as sweet as anything, is a good person. And we were very relieved to find that we liked her. Not that we set up to say, oh, we're not going to like her, you know. No, but we care a great deal about Tracy because he's become like one of our family. And so it was important to us, it was important to Beth and me that we both got along, and we do. And we wish Tracy and Cece the very best in life. And we're really hopeful that everything will be as good as it is right now. Well, don't we all wish for that? I know that Beth and I do. We hope that in years to come we will still be as we are now, which is pretty good. So, just end off. I shouldn't have ended off on this one because it is what can we say? It's a hobby horse for a lot of you. I keep saying, and not always nicely, never mind giving them this and houses and giving them food and clothes and all of those giveaways and all of the handouts. Teach them birth control like they're just a load of animals. Well, we don't do that on our side. We don't treat people as if they don't know anything. They have a culture which we respect, and they live their life. Now, let me make it very, very simple for you so that you understand. If we charge in and I am the ugly American, if I behave like that, I will not be welcome anywhere. Now, we help because we are welcome. We like to think that people, and we know that this is true, people will ask us for help. Because we're not going to go in there and say, listen, you better just learn not to have so many children. It's not going to work for us. That's not our job. It's not our job any more than it's our job to go around handing parking tickets so that people will learn that they shouldn't park there. It's not our job to check people's immigration so that they'll learn not to be out of status, even though that's a hot one at the moment. But you understand, it's not our... I'm not a policeman. I don't go around telling people that they better not be criminals or drug addicts or I don't know, abusers. Those are all vital areas of our society which actually are not our job. We specialize in helping with kindness and showing kind deeds and hoping that people will be inspired to do the same and help each other. It may sound like we're thinking very grandly, but we're not on a grand scale. It's just the two of us, as I've said. Just the two of us, doing what we can with what we have. And with one other vital addition, and that is with your help. And we are empowered to give help because of your support. You may not think that you're supporting us if you don't send any money. That's not true. You are supporting us even if you just look at the videos and let the ad run while you do something else, or however you decide it. One of our subscribers says that what he does is he'll put one video on a loop so that the thing just keeps coming round, and then he goes off and just does something else. So he doesn't even labour through it and wade through it time after time. The thing plays on his computer and it plays over and over again, and the ads play over and over again. I'm not suggesting that you do this, I'm just telling you that that's how one person did it. And others say, well, I can't send you anything to help with that house or this house, but I will let the ads play. So if that's what you can do, then that's just terrific, and we appreciate that. We're here to help, and we're doing our best. That's what you should remember. So thank you for listening to this whole discussion on what you've said. Thank you for being there for us. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your concern about whether Beth and I are too tired or this or that. Look, at my age, I always look a bit tired, okay? I'm trying to look handsome, but it's not working. Can you suggest any pills for looking better? Well, I'm sure that there are, but none that I'm prepared to take. Thanks for looking in. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. We are hoping this month, and there's only, 20 hours or 36 hours to go in this month. And we want to make 13,000. And we've only got about, 75 to go. Please share any of your favorite videos, share them, and when you share them to your friends, say subscribe on this. It's worth it, because we think it is. Thank you for looking in. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Bye for now.